and learn to be, shall we say, familiar with it, then you can create that state for yourself, by yourself, out of your own energy, without necessarily needing the teacher from that point forward. So it's to allow you to remain lucid or become lucid in the physical dream to a certain extent, upon the teacher.
So all the messages you hear and see on those plans, they're all real. It's not something you're imagining or...
Anything you can imagine is on some level real, because you don't have the capacity to imagine non-existence. Because by definition, non-existence doesn't exist.
I just having a hard time. How do you get into that vibration without taking...
Do you remember what it felt like?
Yes.
Well, then you're in it. The instant you remember it, you're in it. The only reason you don't think so is because you have a definition that you're not. If you would remove the definition that you're not in that vibration, you would create the sensation that you're in that vibration. That doesn't mean it will feel exactly the same, because the point is that once you create that vibration, it's for the purpose of applying that energy or acting from that energy in a different way. The teaching situation is a different situation. The instilling of the vibration, the familiarizing you with the vibration, serves a particular purpose. It won't necessarily feel identical when you're actually creating that vibration in your own energy for the purpose of applying it. Because it's not a teaching situation now, it's an application situation. But that doesn't mean you can't know you're in the appropriate vibration.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time. Sometimes it feels like I'm losing my mind because the images...
Well, that might be a good thing, you know. I'm being serious.
I'm having a problem balancing the physical world that I'm used to and the world that I see, because my images are very strong. I've been into a few ceremonies, and I've been very guided. I've been to a sheep.
But what's the difficulty?
It's this everything I see during the ceremony. It's so
what?
Mystical.
Yes. And are you telling me physical reality isn't mystical? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we're so used to...
You have hit the nail on the head. You have a definition of complacency. The idea is that you're creating, through your definitions, the idea that physical reality is mundane by comparison. The idea of going to those states is to actually let you understand how to view physical reality in the same miraculous, mysterious way. But the definition of complacency is preventing you from experiencing that. Because you're making too big of a difference in your definition between the idea of physicality and the idea of those mystery levels. Physical reality is a mystery school. Very magical, very mysterious, very powerful. You just need to learn to define it that way, and you will experience it that way. And then you can learn what you're learning and take what you're learning from those teachers and apply it in physical reality to allow you to become more lucid in the physical dream. It's just that you don't think that physical reality is a dream. You understand? The teachers are attempting to show you that it's a dream. But you have to know that it's a dream, and you have to allow yourself to realize it's a dream. This is why, recently, we have talked about the idea that a very strong permission slip for many of you would be to learn to lucid dream when you're actually asleep. Because when you come into lucidity and wake up in the dream, but don't wake up in your body, you will start to interact with the idea of the template level reality that you use to actually lay out the blueprint of your physical experience. And when you become lucid and capable of changing that in the dream, you can realize that you can start to see physical reality as the same kind of dream and become more lucid in physical reality. And when you become lucid in physical reality, you can also change physical reality in miraculous and magical ways, because you know it's a dream and you're lucid in it. So the teachers are attempting to give you the vibration of lucidity so that you can apply that vibration to physical reality instead of defining physical reality as something less than what you're experiencing from the teacher. But you can aid and assist yourself by also learning to become lucid in your dream state. This is what our civilization did. We became lucid in the dream state. realized from that perspective that physical reality was also a dream, and then we stayed there. We never woke up. We live in the dream, and that's why we don't sleep.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Yes. I've seen it, but
All right.
I can't feel it yet.
You can't feel it because you're not defining your reality that way. But as soon as you do, trust me, you'll feel it.
Okay.
All right? Pleasant dreams to you.
I have another question.
Yes.
It's seems to me that most of my friends, and me included, have the least patience with our mothers. And
all right. Well, what part of yourself that is represented by the mother are you impatient with? You understand it's a reflection, yes?
Yes. I know I chose my mom.
Well, I don't just mean that. I'm saying
know,
there's a reflection in you of a part of yourself that you're equating to her vibration that you're impatient with. You're impatient with an aspect of yourself. The only reason you would be impatient with someone else is that you're impatient with the aspect of yourself that the someone else symbolizes to you, that you're afraid you contain. You understand?
So every time I see her and she's in a bad mood, which happens a lot, and I don't have patience with dealing with her. Why
do you need patience? That's what I'm saying. If you understand that her mood has nothing to do with you, and you stop taking it personally, you don't need patience because it has nothing to do with you. You'll just look at her doing whatever she does, have compassion to realize that she may be caught up in her own fears, but you can also simultaneously have compassion for yourself and realize that her process and her issues and her belief systems and the things that she's caught up in have nothing to do with you. And therefore you don't need patience. And therefore if you don't need patience, you will never become impatient. You will enjoy the moment for what it is, see it for what it is, experience it in the way that you prefer to, regardless of how she may be experiencing it. And because you're experiencing it in a curious and magical and exciting and interesting way, what will you need patience for? You're having fun, even if she's having a miserable time. So don't take it personally. Don't agree that you are like her in that way. You understand?
Yes.
Because that's what you're getting angry about. You have a belief that you're like her in that way. You don't have to believe that. She may have taught you to think that way, but you don't have to believe it. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So don't agree with it. It's the same idea, the same analogy as someone walking up to you on the street when you're wearing a blue outfit and saying, "I really hate your red outfit." You would look at them like they're crazy and go, "What does that got to do with me? I'm not wearing red." It's the same thing. It has nothing to do with you. Stop making it have something to do with you because you're the one doing that. She can't do it to you. You're doing it to yourself. And that's where the impatience comes in because you realize you're doing something to yourself that you don't prefer to do. So you get angry and resentful at her as a projection of the anger and resentment you have toward yourself for doing something to yourself that you don't prefer to do. So take responsibility for your part of it and don't take her side of it personally. And then you will balance out. And it won't matter what she does because it has nothing to do with you. And then you can have the compassion to perhaps reflect to her that she can choose to change by seeing an example in you of your change, but you have to allow her not to change. It has to be an unconditional love. But you start by unconditionally loving yourself enough to not adopt and accept things you know have nothing to do with you. You understand?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
One more question.
Oh, all right.
I get a lot of messages to have an unconditional love for everybody.
Yes,
all
like
my friends.
I just said.
Yeah. Or even friends and, well, family, you kind of are.
Anyone and everything. Unconditional doesn't mean that you still don't have preferences. It doesn't mean you don't have the ability to observe when something is not compatible with your preferred vibration. Unconditional doesn't mean you fold. It means that you allow others to be what they choose to be, knowing that you can also simultaneously choose to be who you prefer to be. So why not be unconditional? Since they can only affect you if you agree to be affected.
I'm having a hard time knowing when to walk away from certain friends if they're a little abusive or.
If you recognize that they are being abusive, what is so difficult about recognizing when to walk away? What holds you there? Do you believe you deserve the abuse?
No.
Then why do you keep abusing yourself? Isn't that self-abuse if you expose yourself to the abuse of another?
What do you do if you have a child that doesn't respect you or abuse you? You can't walk away from your child.
A child does require guidance from the parent, but do understand that the child will perceive if you're not respecting yourself, so why should they respect you? You understand?
Yes.
So if you don't self-respect, no one's going to give you a reflection of respect. You can learn a lot from the child by respecting yourself and then receiving the reflection of respect. You have to choose that, but then from a position of self-respect, you will be inspired to understand how to guide them into a position of self-respect for themselves. Because again, it's everyone's duty to be of a vibration where they don't necessarily have to foist anything negative on someone else, because the only reason people do that is because they don't believe in their own self-empowerment. So when you respect yourself, you will come from a place that will inspire you to teach the child how to respect themselves. Because showing someone else disrespect means you're not respecting yourself. Yes?
Yes.
So they may be reflecting your lack of respect for yourself because you expose yourself to abuse and you stand there and take it. What's to respect? You understand?
Yes.
But if you walk away, then you've earned the respect within yourself. Yes?
Yes.
And when you have earned self-respect, you can get more reflections of respect from others. Yes?
Yes.
And you can teach your children how to respect themselves by showing them that there are limits to what you will accept. And by walking away, you show self-respect and thus act as an example for them of how to respect themselves. Yes?
Yes.
It all fits together nicely now, doesn't it?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes, very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. So.
Hello, sir.
And to you, good day, sir.
I've been trying to think of a question.
Well, you don't have to have a question, you know. You can just make a statement if you wish.
Well, here's a statement.
Yes.
As you speak, I see that you don't speak a lot about grounding.
Oh, I already did actually speak about grounding.
Did you?
Remember the pyramid?
Yeah.
Well, grounding at the base. That's why the base is so wide, covers a lot of ground. It's a symbol of grounding. And the idea is that you really need to be very grounded in order to explore very high rarefied frequencies.
And
so that you can remain in balance between the two.
And how do we ground ourselves?
You are physically grounded in physical reality, and the idea is being true to yourself. Again, you have to understand that when we talk about the idea of excitement, we say quite often that excitement is a complete kit. It's the driving engine, it's the organizing principle of your life, it's the complete kit. So the idea is that when you act on your excitement to the best of your ability, and you don't insist on a particular outcome based on that action, then excitement brings you into situations and circumstances that will not only expand your excitement, they will automatically keep you grounded. Yes?
Yes,
because
correct.
It's a complete kit. When we say it's a complete kit, we mean it's a complete kit. Not it's a complete kit, except it left that one component out about grounding you. It
Correct.
will always bring you the guiding system by which you can ground yourself. If you're getting a little too big for your britches and getting a little cocky when you are acting on your excitement, oh, look at me, I'm doing fantastically in an egotistical sort of way, believe me, following your excitement will bring you face to face with a brick wall. Shape up, kid.
Now, a lot of these thoughts that come into our mind with our problems and issues that come up in our
Yes.
everydays,
Yes.
wouldn't a lot of these problems be solved by grounding
These
ourselves,
problems are
or
solved
issues.
by first not identifying them as problems, by defining them as simply challenges. Because the theme you chose to explore in this life is represented by the greatest challenges you face. The first step in understanding how to transform them is to stop defining them as problems, because by definition, a problem is something that's difficult to transform. But if you understand they're a challenge, then you've already eliminated a lot of the difficulty, and you can actually enjoy the challenge. Yes?
Correct.
Thank you. Now that's grounding, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Now,
Yes, it is.
grounding yourself to the planet.
Yes. Is living fully. A life. Living your life as fully as you can will ground you to the planet, because you are the product of the planet. You are the product of the elements of the planet. Being in your true vibration synchronizes you harmoniously with the vibration of the planet and grounds you.
Now, wouldn't
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Now, wouldn't it help to actually plant yourself on the ground?
It can. Is that a permission slip you believe will help you ground? It's a permission slip.
Yes.
Well then, this is why the Buddhists on your planet say that one of the most spiritual things you can do is chop wood, carry water. The simple things in life that you need to do to live on your planet, by enjoying them, by understanding they are spiritual acts, by understanding that they are part of your physical existence, will ground you. So certainly, lying on the ground, rolling in the grass, leaning up against a tree, smelling a flower, tasting delicious food, all those physical things can be permission slips to allow you to really sink your senses into the idea of physicality in a beautiful way. And that can be grounding and simultaneously very uplifting spiritually. So it's again a balancing act.
Correct. Now, wouldn't that help with your vibrations also? Because
Did I not already say so? Did I not just say so?
Yes.
Well, then, why ask that question?
Okay.
Are you grounded in this conversation? Are you paying attention to what you're actually being told? Or are you just thinking about the next thing you want to ask, which is not a grounded state? So, be grounded here. Pay attention that you're actually being given the information you're asking for sometimes before you ask the question. And therefore, if you already have the information, you don't need to ask the question. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Does this help you?
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes.
All right.
Co-creating.
Co-creating, yes.
Perceptions.
Yes.
I understand that our reality that we're creating ourselves.
Your reality experience, yes.
Our reality experience. For example, like an individual said earlier, no debt in the future, bartering, whatever, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, et cetera,
now,
et cetera.
It's easy for me to say that I'm going to think that that's going to happen in my future, my perception.
Right. But is it easy for you to believe that it could?
Yes, it's very easy.
All right.
But since we're co-creating, wouldn't everybody else have to be perceiving the same thing?
One more time, I'll explain. As you shift from parallel reality to parallel reality, you will simply shift to a version of Earth that already contains the versions of the people that already believe that. The other people may not shift with you. You understand? They may remain on a planet that never experiences that, a version of Earth that never experiences that. But these are different people. They may look the same, but they're not. When you shift to another reality, you're not the same person. You're not in the same reality. You don't have the same body. Literally. I don't care if you think it looks the same. It's not the same. That's an illusion of continuity that you're creating along with everyone else in the co-creation. So the idea is that you're shifting to a version of Earth that is already populated by versions of the people you thought you knew that are new people who are already reflective of the change you've made within yourself. And therefore, you're already shifting into a reality that already contains the co-creation agreement of that idea. You're not actually on the same planet, and you're not actually interacting with the same people. You're just acting with a representation of them that is now more in sync with your preference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that answer your question then?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.